Welcome everyone to another episode of Slasher Scotty. I am your host Scotty McCoy, and boy do I have a surprise for all of you. I have on Zoom with me right now Cody Falk, and he played Todd in Bloody Summer Camp, and he's also gonna be in the upcoming movie Smack. He also was part of Voorhees. But hey, how you doing, Cody?
First of all, I know a lot of people out there are already laughing because they love to torment me with that. But hey, I'll let it slide. Scotty, thanks for having me, man. Pleasure to be here. I'm doing well, man. I hope you're doing good yourself.
Not a problem. I'm doing great. I'm so glad we can make this happen. I know a lot of people, like you said, they see the Billy Loomis, resemblance. I mentioned earlier before we started recording about the hair, down your face is kind of like his, which is really cool. I really think that's really awesome.
Thank you.
And also on a side note, I don't know if you watched Days of Our Lives or not, but you kind of look like Billy Flynn.
That's a new one. I'll have to
look up Billy Flynn, and you'll. I can kind of see it. So you have to look that up. So first question I got for you. We know that you had Voorhees come out, which is a Friday the 13th fan film. Can you let everybody know what that's about, where they can view it, and all that stuff?
Yeah, so Voorhees is, like you said, is a full length Friday the 13th fan film. It is full length, full hour and 39 minutes. It is available for free on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Wet Paint Pictures. As of doing this interview, it has over 1.2 million views. So we are truly, truly humbled. The Friday the 13th franchise has been so amazing to us. The community, the fans, horror fans in general. I'm filled with so much gratitude for that film, man. That film was like my baby. I literally just from the bottom to the top, watched it grow. And yeah, I'm truly humbled about that film. And yeah, it's available right now for free on YouTube.
Awesome. So we know that you're also a part of Smack. So first, I want to say that I saw the trailer for Smack. You sent it to me, and I think it is freaking intense. It really is. The next question is basically like let everybody know what it's about. But what I could say is that it is very intense, especially with I guess I'll let you explain it first, and then I'll kind of give my feedback on the trailer, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. So Smack is another full length film that is really it's a simple story. Actually, it's a love story. That is about a young couple, mid-20s. Dean and Vanessa are the characters, and they love each other very much. But however, they also share their love with heroin, and it's kind of a downward spiral of drug dependency. And it's an emotional roller coaster ride for sure.
Definitely. I see, like I said, I saw the trailer. It is freaking intense. The thing that grabbed me the most is about the drug use, because like I'm not a recovering addict by any means. I know people that are. But I know that it's a very crazy and scary addiction, and it's basically taking the world by storm. Like it is its own epidemic. It's like it's its own thing, and it really is something that should be have some awareness raised about it, what this can do to people. How it can for example, how it can mess up relationships or mess up financial issues or all these different things that drugs cause that really mess with people's personal lives. And this is something that this movie will bring awareness to, which is actually a really good thing that it will do that.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right, Scotty. Our plan is to, well, first of all, Smack also, not like you just said, it does showcase the destruction of this particular relationship, but it also shows the effect of the family members, the people around you, how it also they can be affected by it. And at the end of the day, my plan for this movie is if we can save one life, then we made a good film.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's kind
of. I think my ring light died. I must need a new battery for it. But yeah, definitely. So, what are like the preparations for Smack? Like, what do you do to prepare for such a role?
So far, not eating. No, it's more than just that. really just a kind of embarrassing things, to be honest with you. You know, for me it's been in a lot of like isolation, you know, trying to find certain things. I'm a homebody, so it's fine, totally cool with me anyway. But uh, it's really boring. You know, a lot of pacing back and forth, reading lines out loud, a lot of isolation. We actually have a meeting tomorrow with the cast.
Nice.
Uh, I think the young lady who plays the lead character, who plays my girlfriend on the phone, her name is Emily. She plays Vanessa. Her and I are going to start doing some rehearsals soon.
Okay.
But you know, I've been like diving into the character for even before the pandemic. I was going to rehab facilities and was interviewing past users, and they were just telling me their stories. I even took a class on how to, with a prosthetic arm, they showed me how to eject a
Wow.
needle. I didn't know, you know, it was like, so that was
Right.
interesting, how to find the vein and, you know, things like that. And I kind of recorded, I kind of made my own little movie and took it home and kind of watched it and researched it.
Nice.
And yeah, just an extreme amount of isolation. And we got a great team. I have to give a shout out to Alice Bosga, who was the director. She's doing a fantastic job. I want to give a shout out to Kathy Sanders. Kathy's been telling me a little bit about how dark this type of role is, and Kathy plays the mother of my girlfriend in the film. And she's just been preparing me on like, yo, be careful because some of this stuff can be a little dark, and you know,
Yeah.
make sure you're taking care of yourself.
Mhm.
So it's really just been like trying to prep myself really for like this big gigantic wave of like depression, you know, because like that's really, the film is really hard, you know, it
Yeah.
really um
Absolutely.
so yeah, I mean, but I'm extremely grateful. I want to just take a second really quick, Scotty, to say thank you to all the backers,
Yep.
all the Indiegogo backers who contributed to the production. I sincerely, I mean, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it. I know the team appreciates it. We cannot do this without them. So
Absolutely.
just want to say thank you to the backers really quick.
Awesome. Absolutely. I completely agree with that. I mean, I've done my fair share of Indiegogos, you know, and I know like without them, there is no movie. There really isn't, because it's hard to make a movie to begin with, and it's very expensive. It's not cheap to make a movie.
It
So
is not.
yeah, absolutely. So we also know that you were a part of Blood at East Summer Camp, which recently I believe had its premiere at a couple places, and I'm pretty sure there'll be some others before its release. So those that are unfamiliar with Bloody Summer Camp, can you let them know what this film is about?
Yeah, Bloody Summer Camp is a true love letter to 80s slasher films. It pays, I'd say, uh, a huge tribute to those type of films. Like if you like films like The Burning,
Mhm.
Friday the 13th, Sleepaway Camp, you're gonna love Bloody Summer Camp.
Nice.
The synopsis is, you know, it's 1986, and a couple of counselors are there just, you know, closing out for summer and cleaning up the camp, and you know, making sure the kids are getting home safely to their families. And pretty much people start getting taken out one by one, and it's kind of that mysterious thing on who's killing people, who is the killer. And
Right.
there's a lot of blood, there's a lot of humor in it. I think again, for an 80s slasher fan, it's right up your alley.
Nice, nice. And I am a huge 80s slasher fan. The funny thing is, now I'm not sure how old you are, but I'm going to be 32 this year. I was born at the very end of the 80s. I was born in December of 89.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally missed that whole thing. But as I was growing up in the 90s, I watched the 80s stuff because it wasn't that far off, you
Right.
know, and it was something I loved. Like I like the first film I saw was Friday the 13th Part 7, and from that I watched all of the Friday the 13th, all the Halloweens and Nightmare on Elm Streets and all that stuff. So I know I'm gonna be so excited to see Bloody Summer Camp. I can't wait to see it. I would love to see it really soon. Like I can't wait. I think it's gonna
It's
be good.
fun.
Yes. So, did you have an audition for Bloody Summer Camp? And if so, what was that like?
Yeah, so I was actually the last character I believe to be casted, and you know, I contacted Dave. He's like, yeah, the last role we have is actually a lead. His name's Todd, and he gave me a little bit of a
Yeah.
description. And as you know, I said, I'd love to be a part of it because it was also at the tail end of me completing Voorhees. As a director, it was physically, mentally exhausting, you know, and I was ready to just kind of unwind. And Bloody
Right.
Summer Camp it wasn't a huge challenge acting wise, so it was a fun little project to kind of just unwind on. You know what I mean? It was just I had so much fun. Um, but no, I didn't have an audition process actually. Dave just took a chance, so to speak, and we showed up, and I guess he liked what I was doing. I mean, he didn't fire me, so
Right.
I got to continue to be a part of the team, and I'm very,
Absolutely.
very, very
That's
grateful.
awesome. Oh, excuse me. So what was the best part about filming Bloody Summer Camp, and what was the worst?
The best part is definitely the people involved. I really enjoyed being on the location too. It was nice being out there in the camp because it was a real campground that we shot. Yeah, man, the people were fantastic. The cast and crew were every day with smiles. When it was time to work, it was time to work, obviously. But when we weren't rolling cameras, man, we were just a bunch of goofballs out there.
Right.
We had
Absolutely.
just had a blast.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
the worst thing, I don't know about if there was anything bad. There was nothing, that I can think of like that. But as an actor, I think the worst thing for myself was just to just didn't want to disappoint the director or anybody. So trying to do what the director wanted to achieve. Because again, this was my first time acting in a long time. I was a little
Yes.
nervous. For a lot of nervous. I was really nervous, and I just wanted to do a good job because everyone was doing so well. Everybody seems so natural. So I just kind of wanted to, um, just kind of return the favor, in a way to our director Dave. So yeah,
Yeah.
great guys. Everybody was great.
Absolutely. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, do you have any fun or memorable stories from behind the scenes that you would like to tell the listening viewing audience about?
There's a lot actually. One that comes to mind in particular is we were shooting this scene on a canoe where it was actually my first day on set, and I have to kiss the other young lady in the film, and we're kind of falling in love in the film. This is our first kind of awkward kiss moment,
Right.
and we're in the canoe, like we're literally in the canoe in this dirty water river pond thing. We had like 4 or 5 guys outside the canoe. They're like holding the canoe, and we're sitting there. And we're trying to deliver our lines, but you can't help but notice that you're just going like you're rocking back and forth. And the guys
Right.
were trying to hold, and every now and then a snake or something would go slithering by, and it would kind of jump. So we're trying to kiss, and it's just like everybody's kind of screaming, and then every now and then she would scream, a bug would fly by, and we got the scene, thank goodness. But
Right.
that was funny, especially because it was, like I said, day one. So it was like, this is not something you do every day, you know?
Yep. So romantic. Bugs and dirty water, canoes.
The water smelled like crap too.
Oof.
So it was like, yeah, it was yeah, romantic.
Oh boy. So oh, I already asked, you already answered that really. Was Bloody Summer Camp filmed at a real summer camp? So like which summer camp was Bloody Summer Camp filmed at?
Yeah, Camp Trinity. God, I'm so sorry. Hope Dave's not pissing me for not forgetting the camp. Trinity. I know the film was called Camp Trust Fall. Trinity something. I can't remember the name. I apologize. It's right there though. But what I will say is the camp was they actually took care of like kids with special needs, and it was a real camp, like I said. And this was a non, as far as I'm concerned, like this camp didn't make a lot of money, and it was really just out of the love of their hearts, this camp. So I do know that Dave was raising some funds, and I believe some of the funding that went into the campaign actually went to the camp. So
Okay.
bless them and everybody involved. And I believe that they're still raising funds to help the camp. And if anybody's interested, I highly recommend helping them out because it is a really great
Okay.
cause, you know, for these kids. So
Absolutely. Now, where is the camp located at? Like, where was the filming location and all that?
yeah, it was in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So, what was the most difficult thing to film when filming Bloody Summer Camp, and why was it so difficult?
That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know, man. I had so much fun. I don't remember anything being really too challenging. but you know, I think again there was such a large cast. Like this was like a really big cast, and I think just trying to hold up with everybody's performances was really important to me. So just trying to do the best that I could.
Nice.
With, I guess there was a little bit there, but it was a really free project. It was very.
Sorry, apologize for yawning. I've been up, been going since 4:30 this morning.
Oh, I'm right there with you, man.
Yeah. Working in full shift, and then preparing. I just got my laptop back finally. I was telling you that before we started recording, and was setting everything up on this, all the software I had on it before it got rebooted and everything. So yeah, it's been a crazy day.
No worries, man.
So more on a personal note, which horror film or films are your favorite, and which horror films got you started into becoming a horror fan?
Yeah. There's so many films that I want to name, but it's hard to leave anybody out. But I gotta say The Exorcist because it was the first film that really terrified me. And as I was telling you before, Exorcist was actually shot right down the street from me, so I have that. It's also like same for Blair Witch Project, so I guess I'll throw them in as well. There's a lot of films that got me in wanted to be a filmmaker. Films like The Shining, Evil Dead, obviously Halloween, Friday the 13th. God, I could just go on with that stuff, but just a lot of films that came out, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a lot of films that came out like 70s and 80s, all that stuff was like, and some exploitation films. Like I just had a constant diet of just 70s and 80s horror films, and with a mixture of like exploitation films in there, just a constant diet of those films growing up. So those are my jam.
That's awesome. So cool. So what when can we expect to view Bloody Summer Camp? Other premieres, any dates? Where can we be able to view it? Like all that different stuff.
Yeah, so I've been to 2 screenings already. I saw one in North Carolina, and then the other one was in Fredericksburg, Virginia. As far as I'm concerned, I think they're planning on doing a couple more screenings before like they like even release online. I actually don't know what like I guess the worldwide release would be.
Yeah.
That is a really good question. I wish I knew myself, but as far as I'm concerned, I know that they're doing a couple more screenings theatrical. So hopefully get to see it soon. I hope you get to see it soon, Scott.
Absolutely.
It's a fun one.
Yeah, I can't wait. Like I said, I'm a fan of like that campy 80s type of vibe, type of movies, and I really look forward to us seeing this. This is going to be definitely on my hit list to watch, like definitely. So the last question I got for you is, do you have any other projects in the works that you would like to promote to the listening and the viewing audience?
Yeah, so we already talked about Smack. We talked about Summer Camp. We talked about Voorhees. A couple more films. I'm currently in a Halloween fan film called Haddonfield Nightmare.
Nice.
I'm actually done. I shot all my stuff. That's filming in Chicago, so I got to film with a great team out there in Chicago, Bat Productions. I believe that's coming out this October. There's a couple trailers out there if anybody wants to check them out. Nice. Another film, another kind of I guess it's like a POV type of is that what they call it? No, shot on video type of horror film. I think that's what he called it. That's what the director's calling it. It's called The House That Eats Flesh. That's kind of like a 80s kind of like love letter to films like Evil Dead, any type of Night of the Living Dead, all those type of zombie films. And I'm going to be shooting that in September. Nice. And then there's a couple more things. I don't think they've announced them yet, so I'm not sure if I can say anything about them. But other than that, not too much. Like Smack is really like the big thing like I'm prepping for right now, but I am very much looking forward to working with the guys over at House of Flesh and seeing how I'm a Myers fan, so I can't wait to see what those guys do with Haddonfield Nightmare as well. In fact, our director for Smack, Alice, is also in Haddonfield Nightmare too. So
nice.
And she was also in Voorhees. So
awesome. And I mean, I would love to work with you someday as well. Obviously, even with my company, like I will keep you updated on whenever we have a movie. Like I told you, we spoke on the phone for like an hour yesterday, and I told you that like 72 is already, we're on the for extras right now. But when we have any other projects, I'll definitely send them your way, and you can, send in an audition tape. And I would love to work with you someday. That'd be amazing.
And thank you. I really appreciate that. And best of luck on your film, man. 72. I'm looking forward to what you guys do with it.
Absolutely, I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to see how that goes. And
what is it about, by the way?
Okay, so basically a group it's got 3 different story arcs. They all meet at the end, so to speak. So there's a group, the main story arc is like there's a group of campers. They're all friends in that. There's I guess a worldwide pandemic that's out there, kind of like what we're going through now. And it's a virus that causes all these different types of things. And a group of friends decide to go camping in the woods to self-quarantine, get away from, all of civilization and all that stuff. So we go into the woods to quarantine. Don't know this, that somebody in the group has already been exposed to the virus and starts infecting the rest of the campers. And then we have another story arc in the same world, same time frame, same area of a news crew that are covering that are going to be covering the pandemic, like what's going on and everything, giving people updates and all that stuff. And then there's another one called The Three, and they're a group of, I guess you could say, mischievous looters, troublemakers. There's 3 of them, of course, and they've been waiting for something like this to happen so they can basically go rogue on the world pretty much and take advantage of the virus and the world going to shit, basically. So, and then eventually, like, all 3 of those story arcs will collide at the end. So yeah.
Dude, I wish you the best of luck, man. That sounds like a lot of work.
Yes.
I know the struggle. I'm actually looking forward to seeing what you do with that, Scotty.
Thank you so much. Carl Miller will be directing it. He wrote it. He did a great job with that. I'm actually in the movie as James Kreiser. That's why I have this here, because I'm the wannabe outdoorsman. And then maybe 1 minute I think I'm an outdoorsman, which I do during this movie. But my character's like, maybe another time I could be like, I know everything about social media and how to hack type of thing or whatever. So I basically have this ambition of I can do this or I can do that, but I don't know shit about it. So that's kind of my character.
I got you.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for it. And like I said, I'm also excited for Bloody Summer Camp and to see Smack as well. I recommend anybody that wants to see what Cody is up to, check out his IMDb, because I'm sure you might be watching this, say, after Smack already released and he has other projects in the works. So check out his IMDb, see what else he's been up to. Do you have any social media that you would like to promote for any of the films yourself?
Yeah, so Voorhees can be found on our Wet Paint Pictures YouTube channel. Please check it out. And if you like Voorhees or anything else we got on the channel, all the other content, please consider subscribing. Instagram, Wet Paint Pictures, and Smack is on Facebook. We have like a Facebook group page. And it's just called Smack. Yeah, check it out. Some fun stuff.
Awesome. Well, I thank you, Cody, for joining me. This has been so much fun, and I'm so glad to have you on my show.
Scotty, I really appreciate you having me, man. It was great talking to you.
Not a problem. You have a great rest of your day and stay safe.
You too, man.
Bye.